Hello, Grace family. This is Keith Sistrunk. My wife and I, Dana Sistrunk, we serve in the area of member care, and we're so blessed to be a part of this great ministry, this great legacy. And of course, you know, David said, "This is the day that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it." But do you know that you have the choice to either be glad in it or to be sad in it? I know that we have so many different things we're looking at now, so many different things that we're dealing with. Some people have been laid off of jobs, or they have to change jobs, or you're believing God for finances to take care of financial needs. But you can choose to be glad in this day, even through tears, or you can choose to be sad. Jesus said, "Be it unto you according to your faith." However you choose to see your circumstances, however you choose to see where you are and how you're going to come out of this, that is your choice. But this is what God said. He said, "I will never leave you. I will never forsake you." And I'm going to tell you what, my brothers and my sisters, we're going to have to choose whether we believe that or not. As Joshua said, "As for me and my house, we choose to believe that God will never leave us. He'll never forsake us." He's not the creator of storms. He is the protector through the storms. And he chooses to love us. He chooses to walk with us. He chooses by his Spirit to live on the inside of us. So we can choose to be happy or we can choose to be sad. I'm reminded of a story in Mark 4, where Jesus was teaching the disciples and the multitudes that were there. And then when they sent them away toward the end of that chapter 4 in Mark, Jesus said to the disciples, "Let us go to pass on to the other side." They got into the boat. And it says that Jesus went to the hinder part of the ship and went to sleep on a pillow. That's a great design for all of us, that once we see what God promises us as his children, to speak the word because you believe it, and then rest in that promise. Well, as many of you know, there was a storm that came. The winds and the waves begin to beat upon that ship to the degree that the disciples who had just heard those words spoken by Jesus, the greatest communicator in the world ever, they began, because of the circumstances, to fear. And now the waves have not only just beat upon that ship, now they have filled the ship. Jesus was still sleeping. He had released the word, and he believed what he said, and he was resting in what he said. And of course, you know, they woke him. The disciples woke him up, and they began to accuse him. "Don't you care that we're about to perish?" They were fearing death because they were looking at the circumstances. Jesus did not respond to them immediately. He spoke to the wind. He spoke to the waves. "Peace, be still." He released what he was full of and what he wanted to see. And then he turned to the disciples and, pretty much paraphrasing, "Where is your faith? Why are you so fearful?" And in my mind, why didn't you do what I just did? Which means if they had listened to his word and just said to the storm, or even said to themselves, "You know what? He's asleep. Why don't we chill out as well?" But they chose to fear. But Jesus said, "Why are you so fearful?" And today, my brothers and my sister, I know that there's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of fear is rampant. But you get to choose whether you're going to believe what God has said, or you're going to fear because of the contrary winds that are blowing. Please rest in his promise that he's going to stay with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And I remember years ago, a little song that says, "Hold to his hand God's unchanging hand, you better hold to his hands. God's unchanging hands, you better build your hopes on things eternal. Yes, hold to God's unchanging hand. No matter what goes on, what storm comes, choose, as God is taking us through all of this, to never let go of God's hands. God bless you.